Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here and it is Ascendant Challenge time once again. It is February 5th, it is Ascendant Challenge number 5, but if you're looking for the name, this would be the Agonarch Abyss. This is going to be the one actually in the Bay of Drowning Wishes, so if you guys want to jump ahead to the actual gameplay of the Ascendant Challenge itself, it's the one where you're falling down. You guys can use the timestamps for that. If you're looking for the lore eggs, this is one really where I like clear it out. I kind of do these as I go. So I'll show you guys where everything at as we go down, and I'll kind of give you a few tips when I start out about the time trial, so you can kind of work your way down there quickly. But other than that, let's get rolling. So pretty much do a U-turn, and we're going to go into the Bay of Drowning Wishes and get this thing rocking. Now when you come in here, you can kill everything. You can skip over it all entirely. It's really up to you, but honestly, if you have any issues with either trying to do the time trial, which on this one you might die a lot, or if you just have an issue where you don't want to have to, if you do kicked out, you don't have to kill everything, kill it all once, and it should be kind of set for your instance, so you don't have to, you know, keep fighting to get back in here, have any struggles. So I'm going to kill most of the things I see. You guys are more than welcome to skip by all of this, but I just shoot everything. Makes it quicker for me on repeats or time trial runs or anything like that, so it's really not anything overly difficult to do. Just keep moving. Next phase will be out here. Once all those guys explode, use the actual exploder screebs to take care of the abomination, because as soon as they spawn in, you're going to get some extra damage on him as soon as they start actually chaining together. If you get them when they're next to him, it makes life a little easier when you kill that guy. Now, you don't have to kill everyone. You don't have to go all the way in and finish up the Lost Sector. But I would probably say try and kill what you can, at least in this opening area, so your run to the portal, which is just going to barely be to my right, is fairly open. Now, if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, jump up on one of these rocks. You'll have enough elevation that all you have to deal with is the lurkers, and the screebs won't be able to get you. Lurkers can still shoot you, but most of the explodey guys will not be able to touch you up on one of these little rocks. Any of them will do. And if you can get enough of this stuff chained together, you should be in decent shape. Probably going to have a few more lurkers, a couple guys that can shoot you, but most of them just want to explode. There is one sniper, that's the guy who's shooting me. Sitting up there on that perch. If he falls down, he might be down in the water, but that one will probably still be hanging around. And you'll know you've got all the ads here if the door actually opens, which it should. Alright, so you'll hear the portal basically right above me here, so come on, go ahead and pop your tincture of Queen's Foil. And if you guys are just jumping ahead in the timestamp, once you clear the room, you'll kind of have a free reign to do this, or you can pop it before and run straight in. But the portal is right up here, so you have this large rock structure. If you head to the right, you can actually just run straight in here. Me, if you're going for a time trial or anything, I just like to clear everything before. So let's jump in and explain how this works. So the Agonarch Abyss is literally all about falling down, but falling in style. It's kind of like Buzz Lightyear. Now what you're trying to get to is way down there. Now, there are a couple of supers that can actually get all the way down there. You can do the pole dancer for the hunter. The Arc Strider super, you basically can find the right timing, and you have to usually fall for a little while, and then do your slam. And basically anything that makes you travel at about a 45-degree angle, it's doable. Same thing with the Titan. You can also have that one with the Fist of Havoc, the new one, the mini Fist of Havoc, the melee that makes you slam kind of like that. Basically, usually what I would do is jump out, count for about 7 seconds, and then if I do that slam, usually puts me square on top of the roof. So that's an easy way to skip most of this jumping, but if you guys are looking for eggs and lore and all that stuff, I'm going to cover that as we go. But if you're looking for speed for a Warlock, the other thing you'll do is, if you fall through, and if you're going for the time trial, you can actually, you know, do this multiple attempts, and it's not as big of a deal. I'm trying not to actually fall off. But you'll notice all these little rocks down here. Now, for me, it took me quite a few tries, but eventually I was able to kind of jump off and float a little bit and catch one of these rocks down here, take out most of the jumping with a fall and a catch, and then finish with the jumping, kill everything, and still finish the time trial. I've done it in a previous video. I'll link it in the end, and also down below so you guys can see it. I might even throw it in a card right up here about now. Hopefully it's up there. So all those are different options, but the idea is you want to get down there as fast as possible. And the first time I did it, I honestly jumped and accidentally didn't die, and then kept making the jumps. So either way, you kind of want to find some way to skip the jumps or just keep jumping down as quickly as you can and kill stuff. But I know skipping some of these middle jumps will save you some time for sure. So landing somewhere in this realm will speed this process along. If you're going for the normal run, You've got a couple eggs as you go throughout, and we're going to cover them as we go. If you load in, your first platform right over here, which I'm going to go to for another reason, is where Toland is at. So if we jump across, these platforms tend to have a bit of an angle to them, so just be aware you can land on them, but if you land on an angle and you want to be sure, land and like point up in the angle, so if you do start running, you'll go a little bit higher. So if you jump over here to this platform, that's actually, sorry, that won't be Toland. My apologies. That's just going to be the little orb that you follow. So apparently I'm a little out of practice. That one will guide you all the way down, but before you fall down, here's egg number 1. So literally like 2 platforms over, the egg is right up here. So be aware that it will be right up here. If you go too far down, you won't be able to see it, so catch that one early. Next, we'll go ahead and float down to our little stalagmite down here. Catch ourselves, and it's just going to give you the little platforms, and they light up as you go. Now, if you're looking for Toland, you know he's going to be that little light orb, so I apologize about calling him out early. I was wrong. But you see, you're still progressing in this kind of spirally circle down to that location. And if you look up, notice the egg is gone, so you definitely need to catch that one early. So jumping all the way across and floating over. Nice big fall here. Now when you get to this first time that it's lit up where you can see, notice you have 2 of these orbs. If you see 2 of them, that's going to be Toland, the one chilling there. This one is going to be the one that's your guide, the one floating here on his own that was already there, that's your Toland. So if you see 2 together, you'll know. But the first time you see that this is a texture, that's very different than just grass, and it looks like more of a statue or, you know, architecture. That one's going to be a very steep slope, but this is where your first lore piece is going to be as well. Now you can land this, even though it may not look like you can. You can actually stand on this, I guess, because we're guardians. Toland is over here in the grass, so we can see his words of wisdom for the day.
Do you ever pause, dear listener, to consider who benefits from all this heroism?
Probably not. So he's going to be there, but always look for him. And then your lore bones are right here on the other side. So this textured platform, you're going to want to run mostly up towards the top. Find this tree, and your lore bones will be tucked over here. You'll see them on the ground. They're usually pretty easy to spot. They have that little glow. Now, as you head on down, we're going to come up to the second egg fairly quickly. If you look down, you can actually see it right here. So there's a big statue, and before you drop down, you can actually get a pretty easy shot into that one, and go ahead and take care of that. Jumped out again. Some of these platforms start to be donuts, so watch out for the middle being wide open. You don't want to just pass straight through. If you're looking at the statue again, very easy shot of the egg, and usually what I'll try and land on is this giant orb here, just a little easier spot to land on. Now, when you proceed to this next section, you can actually slide down this, but as you slide down and kind of get to the next section, you almost will sometimes gain too much momentum. So as you fall down, you'll notice I'm actually jumping a lot. Like, jump on the last section, really try and slow your fall before you get down here, because I've just smashed into this rock and straight face planted and died, so try and avoid that fault. I've done it, so hopefully you don't. Now, when you get to this point, you'll notice these rocks will rotate. Now, if you are fairly safe with the falls, you usually have something to land on. Even if it doesn't feel that comfortable, there's usually something. And again, 2 of these are going to be rotators. The little rocks won't slow you down, but you definitely have a pretty long distance to cover. So if you're worried about your landing zones, just make sure, you know, look out ahead of you and see what the rocks look like. So 2 in, after 2 rotators, you will have a flat one to land on that will not move, so you can catch your bearings. Now again, you'll see this one rotating. If you look for the lightning behind it, you'll see that one rotating as well. Usually if you line up one that will have the top flat surface, the others seem to rotate decently into that as well. So as I try and float out here, this one's going to hopefully be lining up into a point where I can actually land on it. Same thing, I was probably a bit early on that jump. And then as this thing starts to rotate, still fairly flat, as this thing's coming around, then this one is about to rotate. And again, if you're able to hang above it just for a little bit, land on it, and again, push up towards the incline, and you should have a decent surface to land on. I gotta figure out where the heck I'm falling to. Way down here. Sorry, almost lost it. And again, definitely have like my Titan. I usually use my strafe jump, triple jump, some way to definitely cover some horizontal ground as well. This one is stable. And then we've got our final donut. Usually I'll kind of land on the lower section, so I've got a little more room to move in case I fall off. Third egg is going to be on top of the final dome. Now that's one nice thing if you're going straight from way up at the top all the way down to the bottom. If you land on the top and you're going for that egg, you can at least land right by that one and shoot it. Now when you get down to the bottom, you'll see the little guiding light down there. When you land, you're going to spawn some enemies. Out of sheer dumb entertaining chances, I'm bringing a sword with me, but I also have Chaos Reach as a backup. You're going to have 2 wizards that you need to kill. Now, They have some health. They're going to spawn some ads, which really aren't too bad. There are going to be some blights that will slow you down, so killing them quickly is kind of a key here. Chaos Reach, big supers, whatever you got is definitely a big thing to have. Sleeper Simulant is also a really powerful weapon to use here. All of that stuff will help. But as the longer you go, there's going to be some phalanx that spawn and they're taken, and they're just going to want to do nothing but blast you off of this edge. So go fast or be mobile and avoid those phalanx if you see them start coming to you. So for sheer entertainment, let's do this sword style. Now, I'm not saying to try and fly down with a sword, because you can't actually cover extra ground with a normal sword. You can do it with the hive sword, but you can't actually swing across with a normal sword. Once everything starts to spawn, if you do need some cover, sometimes you can just come up in the middle of the tree and actually use that as cover. But the idea is find your little orb, have everything spawn. Usually towards the back side of where you land is where the wizards are going to spawn. Run fast to them, and then literally, like, try and get over to them nice and quick. Now, again, those are going to hurt a little bit. The Shadow Thrall are definitely going to sting. So be careful. Check your grenade if you can. Use that one to get in here. And then, again, 3 swipes with this sword. Still got a decent one. That took me 4 on this one. Apparently, I'm whiffing on this guy. And there you go. So as soon as the wizards go down, I didn't even have a phalanx spawn. Speed is the key. If you are having some major issues, jump up here in the middle in this tree. Try and get some high ground, like really way up in here if you can, like right when you get down in here as soon as you activate the orb. And you'll be able to, you know, have a little freedom. The phalanxes might still be bopping you, but you've got somewhere to hide from the Shadow Thrall if you need to pick off the wizards slowly. That's up to you, but speed is usually going to be better. That basically covers everything. If you guys do want to see a time trial, I'll put a link below and all over the place in here. But the idea is you can use different supers to smack your way to the bottom and cover a lot of ground quickly. But that basically wraps up Ascendant Challenge for February 5th. This is the Agonarch Abyss in the Bay of Drowning Wishes, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys haven't followed me yet, I'm on Twitter and Twitch, both. Been streaming a lot more lately, so find me there. It's been a lot of fun. So we have a good time on the streams. It's Ebontis everywhere. Right here on YouTube, though, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave a comment if you want to say hey, and of course, hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. You know I've got more content coming to you all the time. Sometimes words are hard, but thank you guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.